You know, in the last 20 years, television families have evolved from the Waltons to the Bundys. My next guest plays Al Bundy. Oh, he's lovable. On Married with Children, please welcome Ed O'Neill.
Thank you.
They love you, man. You're part of America now. They feel they know you. Hey, I haven't seen you since Dutch came on. Woo!
Yeah.
I love that ad, the picture where he was Dutch and he always... It was like when you got the first week grosses. I said, Ed, how did the film open? He went... Now, what happened? You did a John Hughes film called Dutch, and it didn't really,
Did the film, and it opened, the weekend that it opened, you know, I was kind of curious what it was going to do, and I got a call from one of the producers, English guy named Tarkman, and he says, Ed, I have some very disappointing news, I'm afraid. The gross is $580,000. And I said, I'm not interested in Los Angeles. You know, what's the national? That is the national.
580,000 across the country?
Yeah, the whole thing, yeah.
You know, you could not run the film, turn up the house lights in each individual theater, go over the floor for loose change, and come up with more than 580,000.
I don't know what happened.
The hell happened? It was a lovable little thing. You and the tyke on the road, and
it just didn't make it.
John Hughes.
John Hughes?
I guess he does one every once in a while just to...
Just threw one away.
He did Home Alone, then Dutch.
Yeah.
And,
he had a couple that didn't do too well, and I think we were the third. You know, it runs in threes, I guess. Yeah. But Home Alone 2 will probably be a big hit for him. I don't know.
Oh, God.
But I don't think they'll
hit. That's going to hit for sure.
I don't think there'll be a Dutch 2.
You're kidding me, man.
I don't think so.
I was down in Westwood waiting in line already for the tickets.
I haven't got any calls.
Did you talk now? You've seen John since the thing? What happens? Do people cut bait in this town when something fails?
Yeah, yeah, they smell it.
I smelled that about Hughes, man. I got that vibe off Hughes.
No, about 2 weeks. It's funny how that works. About 2 weeks before the movie opens, we got a couple bad reviews in the trades, and then you feel it. It just starts to go. You know.
Right.
Well, no calls from And no, I didn't hear anything from anybody.
Now, you have not talked to this guy since this film came out?
John Hughes?
Yeah.
No.
Jesus.
In fact, I only
This is Sunset Boulevard out here, man. What a grim.
But, that's Hollywood.
Well, you're doing great, man. Married with Children, didn't it come out? Wasn't it like the biggest syndication release ever or something?
Yeah,
like
I think it's the biggest
comedy. I don't follow that whole thing, but...
I think it's the biggest comedy in syndicated history for a sitcom. You know, I love the show. Now, you play the father, right? Al.
Well, we had David on the other night, your kid from the show. He's a sweet kid, man. It was like I hit the wall with him, though. I just did a thing with Miss USA that completely fell apart.
It was sort of a Dutch deal.
It was like Dutch. Oh, man. I haven't taken a blow like that. I haven't seen a blow like that since Bobby Foster hit Mike Quarry with that left hook and knocked his head off. But anyway, we did that bad bit with her. I felt so bad. And then when he came out, I was rope-a-doping, man. I was so stunned by how bad that was. I'm asking him, do you like TV, bud? Poor kid's looking at me like, what the hell happened to this guy?
Yeah.
How many years you been doing that show now?
This is our 6th.
Yeah?
6 years.
It's still going strong, too, right?
Still
Beyond
going
syndication?
Strong. Yeah. We just came from that. I just came over.
Yeah, so how many, you only need like 70 to get it syndicated, right?
It's syndicated now.
Yeah,
well, you
guys
need
got
100.
like...
No, 100. I think
you got
a magic number for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going all right.
You just got back from Africa? Or you were in Africa recently?
I was in Africa. Yeah,
We're going to talk about it right after this. I got to take a break. We'll be back with the African Queen. I'm teasing! Ed O'Neill, folks. Be with me, my son. We're back with Ed O'Neill. Now, you did something I always wanted to do, that whole out of Africa thing. Did you cruise over the plains and that?
Yeah, it was great. My wife and I, we used to live in the village, and we used to walk through the village and look at like parrot jungle, you know.
An African village?
No, in the village of New York.
Oh, in the village of New York. I'm talking about Africa, you said the village.
No, but we used to go through the village and look at like parrot jungle and look at guys walking dogs. I mean, in Manhattan, you don't see many animals. So, well, they're animals, but they're different kinds. But, so I told her if I ever could, I'd take her to Africa.
Right.
So this was a thing that it was sort of like a promise. So we went to Kenya, Masai Mara, and Samburu, and we did the whole thing. Went out and looked at the animals, and it was just the two of us.
Right.
I hired a guide and a staff and did the whole thing. And
a great white hunter guide?
I was like Ernest Hemingway, you know. But it was really a great trip, fascinating trip.
Now, did you see any elephants?
Yeah, I got in a herd of about 300
really?
elephants. Yeah.
Rush hour?
Rush hour. No, you know, they mock charge you a lot, you know, and my wife and the guy... They mock charge? Yeah, they start for you, and then they stop. You know, they don't usually run over the Land Cruiser.
Such teasers, those elephants.
But my wife wasn't at all afraid, you know,
no?
The guide, no, and I was terrified, you know. But it was really quite an experience. The lions, you know, and I saw a cheetah kill. I saw a cheetah kill an antelope, and I got it on film, so it was
we have some photos, don't we?
I took some. I brought some here. That's my wife and I and the Masai Mara.
Masai Mara? You're blown by that.
The Masai Mara is the name of the country. That it's.
And what is the white thing along the bottom there? The frame of the picture?
That's the frame of the picture.
Aww.
That's a lioness with 2 cubs.
Uh-huh.
And this is the kill that I got that's the cheetah got
Jesus.
this.
Wow, you know, you can get photos over there, you with President Bush or Reagan getting themselves tripped out.
Yeah, I've got one. I didn't bring it in. That's the guide that I had. It shouldn't have been out of the Land Cruiser because there was a lion nearby. I was acting brave, but I was terrified.
That looks like that Doctari mobile from the Duke Wayne film.
Yeah, the very same.
It's nice.
And that's a couple of baboons.
Yeah. What are they screaming there?
They were mad at me.
Because you didn't
have getting out of the Land Cruiser.
You didn't have the camera focus.
Yeah, right.
Whoa, scoliosis. It happens. A lot of these ocelots don't get enough vitamin D, Eddie. I've always wanted to go over there, man.
You should do it. You should do it.
Now, what's happened to Africa though since the AIDS crisis over there? Is it cut the people? I hear the tourist is down, but it seems so crazy to me. It's not gonna. If you're going over on safari, seems odd, but I guess people are just freaked out about it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to. I mean, hopefully you don't have to end up with a blood transfusion over there or something, you know, because I guess it's pretty serious. But in the cities.
Right.
But we were really out in the bush most of the time, so. You know.
Any close brushes with either death or Hollywood?
Well, I was fishing on Lake Victoria for a now perch, and I was out in really the middle of nowhere, and came in afterwards and got off the boat and walked in to have lunch, and there's a guy sitting there that I recognized as Jake Bloom. You know that.
He's a big Hollywood lawyer.
He's John Hughes' lawyer.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't get away from this thing, and it's true. He was sitting there with his wife and kid eating, you know. Oh my God, you know, in the middle of nowhere. I run into a guy from L.A., but that was.
Well, you're a partaker of life. I know you. I mean, we've been out together, and I'm always fascinated when we're out. People always know you as Al, and Al's kind of the quintessential white trash guy, but. Well, you know, Al's the mayor of the trailer park, but you are so erudite in that, and I've often wondered, it must be weird balancing that with your fans, because I know they have certain expectations of
it. It is strange. It's always kind of, you meet a lot of them and you feel somehow that you're not living up to Al, you know?
Being goofy.
So you got to go into it a little bit for him sometimes. But I enjoy it. It's been a great job for me.
Oh man,
it's fun.
It's like the gig everybody looks for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do other things your whole life. I know you're a really good actor, but isn't it weird that thing from left field turns out to be your life?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you visualize. When I lived in Manhattan, I'd always think, well, you know, if I ever get famous, you think in terms of De Niro, and you see yourself in that light, you know.
Oh, I thought you meant money.
No, you know, I mean, the way people perceive you.
Yeah, well, you're making a lot of De Niro now.
Yeah. But Al Bundy, you know. But it's fine.
Hey, man, believe me, there are people who fancy themselves as De Niro and, never get out of the job at the local Kinko's. So, at least you fancy yourself and you got a gig. You're a good guy, Eddie. Good to see you again, man.